All right, guys, next up is your law of cosines. So it says, just like law of sines, your law of cosines can be used to find side lengths and angle measurements in any triangle. Okay, so given triangle ABC, three formulas we can use to find a missing side. So if we're missing A, B, or C, there's three formulas we can use to find those missing sides. First one, we take A squared, that equals B squared plus C squared minus 2 times side B times side C times cosine of A. Next one, B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2 A times 2 minus 2 times A times C times cosine of B. And last one, C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2AB times cosine of C. All right. So it looks kind of nasty, guys, but the first four, we're only going to have to find missing sides. It's 2 steps and we're done. On the back side, where we got to find missing angles, it's 3 or 4 steps and then we're done. So a little trickier on the back, but front side, man, as long as you plug in the pieces correctly, it should go pretty fast. Not complicated whatsoever. All right, so here we go. X is across from angle 65. So let's label the sides. Let's call this side A. We'll call that side B. And we'll call that C. And obviously this is going to be angle A that we're going to use. Okay? So we'll call this a capital A for angle A. We don't need angle B. We don't need angle C. We're good to go. As long as we got the side across the angle and 2 side measurements, I can use these formulas. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to use this formula right here, right? There's A, there's B, there's C. Just plug in all of the pieces, guys. It's really that simple. And there's angle A, which should be 65. So x squared equals 7 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 7 times 12 times cosine of 65. Type in the entire right-hand side into your calculator. So I'm just using a basic calculator, but it still works. As long as I'm in degree mode, I'm going to be okay. 7 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 7 times 12 times cosine of 65 comes out to be 122. So x squared equals 122. And your last step, just square root, and then you got the side. Square root, square root. If you typed it in, it comes out to be rounded 11.0. So x is 11. So simple, guys. Just plug in the pieces into your formula, and you got it. Number 2, let's label the pieces. Let's go together. Let's call this angle A, side A, and then B and C doesn't matter which one you just call one B, one C. Call him B, call him C. All right, x squared equals 25 squared plus 20 squared minus 2 times 20 times 25 times cosine of 108. If you type in the right-hand side, excuse me, comes out to be 1,334.02 square root, rounded 36.5. Number 3, x and 34 go together. We'll call this angle A, side B, side C, side little a. Formula, x squared equals, let's see, 17 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 17 times 13 times cosine of 34. If you type in the right-hand side, that comes out to be 91.57 square root. That comes out to be 9.6 rounded. Number 4, those go together. We'll call x little a, angle A is 52, side B 23, and side C we'll call 30. All right, x squared equals 30 squared plus 23 squared minus 2 times 23 times 30 times cosine of 52. Let's see, right side comes out to be 579.39. Square root both sides. 24.1 rounded. All right. So no big deal for missing sides. Plug in the pieces. Just make sure you type it in correctly, guys, and you'll get the answer every single time. Not a big deal. All right. Missing angles, a couple more steps involved, but same exact setup. Okay. Those go together. We'll call this angle A. There's side A, side B, side C, right? So same setup, nothing different so far. But now we got to find the missing angle as opposed to the missing side. All right, so setup 7 squared equals 11 squared plus 12 squared minus 2 times 11 times 12 times cosine of x. Different. Okay, be careful now. To do this, we got to chunk this. Type in that little bracketed piece. Type in that little bracket piece right there. And then it's going to require, I think, 3 more steps after we do this, okay? And if you want to, you can type in that piece right there, 7 squared. So 7 squared is 49. This stuff right here comes to 265. This stuff right here comes to negative 264 times cosine of x. All right, 3 more steps. First, subtract the 265 over. That gives me negative 216 equals the right-hand side stuff. Next step, divide by negative 264. Divide both sides by negative 264. When you do that, it comes out to be 0.8182 equals cosine of x. And now you just apply the inverse cosine to both sides. So both sides, last step, inverse cosine. Right? Cancel, cancel. So inverse of cosine. So just remember forgot how to type these in. We get second cosine of 0.8182. Answer is 35.1 rounded. Make sure you're in degree mode. 35.1 degrees. Number 6. Let's label the pieces. We'll call X angle A. So that's side A, side B, side C. Plug in the pieces, and we got 4 steps to knock it out. All right, so 35 squared equals 16 squared plus 24 squared minus 2 times 16 times 24 times cosine of x. Chunk it. Type in these 3 little pieces, and then we'll go from there. 35 squared is 1225. This chunk comes out to be 832. This chunk is negative 768 times cosine of x. First step, subtract the 832 over. That brings me to 393 minus negative 768 times cosine of x. Next step, divide both sides by negative 768. When you do that, it comes out to be negative 0.5117. Last step, inverse cosine of both sides. Solution, 120.8 degrees. 2 more. All right, those go together. We'll call X angle A. That means that's side A. B and C, just pick one. Doesn't matter which sides. All right, 21 squared equals 16 squared plus 26 squared minus 2 times 16 times 26 times cosine of x. Chunk it. Figure out what those 3 pieces come out to be. 21 squared is 441. This chunk comes out to be 932. This stuff comes out to be negative 832 times cosine of x. First step, subtract the 932 over. Gives you negative 491. Just write down the right-hand side. Next step, divide both sides by negative 832. Comes out to 0.5901. Last step, apply inverse cosine to both sides. Solution, 53.8 degrees. Last one. Call this angle A. That means that's side A. We'll call them side B. And there's side C, right? All right, so 25 squared equals 47 squared plus 38 squared minus 2 times 47 times 38 times cosine of x. Chunk it. 25 squared is 625. This stuff comes out to be, let's see here, 3,653. This stuff comes out to be negative 3572 times cosine of x. 3 steps. First step, subtract this guy to the left. You'll get negative 3028 equals negative 3572 times cosine of x. Divide both sides by negative 3572. That comes out to be 0.8477. Last step, multiply both sides by inverse cosine. Answer comes out to be 32.0 rounded. And that is it for law of cosines.